Statistically, 99% of the population suffers from attachment issues, and these attachment issues comes in different forms. It can be attachment to a relationship, attachment to a business, even though it's not going anywhere. Attachment even to certain words that was said about you about someone years ago, and most of the times these attachment issues weighs us down so much, such that we fail to see some of the blessings that we have. We fail to see them because most of the times we're so focused on the things that were said to us, or we're so focused in this relationship, even though it is not serving us anymore. Hello, my name is Helen. Welcome to my YouTube channel. Today I'm going to be talking about attachment and the power of letting go. So this topic is very important to me because most of the times if we're attached to certain things, they literally control how we move in life and how we see things. This picture right here, it is a very good example of how it looks when you latch onto something and you refuse to let go. Even though it's literally hurting you. It's hurting you. But you just don't want to let go because you are just scared. You're literally scared to see what's on the other side. You don't know what to expect. But what you don't know is you are being hurt more in that instant. Because I know that when you let go, it's going to be a little bit difficult to bounce back. But trust me, there's always light at the end of the tunnel. And sometimes people come into our lives to just teach us lessons. We don't always have to latch on to everybody because people are going to come into your life and they're going to leave. They're going to teach you a lesson and they will have to leave. You can't just keep holding on to people, because if you hold on to them longer than they're supposed to be in your life, it's going to cause more harm than good. I'll give an example maybe of the relationships. You've been in a relationship with this person for maybe 8 years and you've devoted so much and you've spent so many years of your life with this person, and now you're scared to let go of that person, even though the relationship is no longer making you happy, even though you've seen that this relationship is not going anywhere. But because you're scared that maybe you are too old, maybe you feel as though you're too old to start all over. Maybe this person maybe they fund your life, maybe they take care of your bills basically, but they're still emotionally abusing you. And in most instances what happens is because you are literally staying in that relationship just because that person is funding you, they're going to take advantage of that because they know that you don't have anywhere else to go. That is why it's very important to have something of your own. Plan your escape route. Plan your leave. I know you can't just live right there and then. I mean, you first of all have to plan, if I do this, where am I gonna go? If I do this at this particular instant, how is it going to turn out? That's why it's very important to withdraw emotionally, and then now you can live physically. So don't just stay just because you've spent 8 years, you've spent 10 years, even 15 years with this person, and they're emotionally manipulating you, they're emotionally abusing you, and you're still deciding to stay. No, you need to leave. I'll give an example of my mother, right? She has been running her business for many years, and I think for as long as I can remember, like literally even before I was born, she has run this business basically all her life. And even though it's not serving her anymore, like she still holds on to it because she's afraid to look at other options, because she doesn't know what to expect if she ventures into something different. She's afraid of losing the customer she has at the current moment because she will no longer be doing that business anymore and they'll just leave her. And I've told her so many countless times that if you stop this business and those customers leave you, you're definitely going to find different customers, and even better ones for that matter, because you cannot live your whole life doing a business that you know is not going to serve you anymore. Like, it's basically done. And I've told her that maybe you feel like you're a little too old to venture into something new, but it shouldn't be the case. You're never too old to venture into something new. There's always new things to learn and new things to venture into. So sometimes we tend to latch onto something even though it is not serving us any purpose, because we just don't want to let go because we don't know what's on the other side and we're scared to see what's on the other side. And this even happens in relationships. Maybe let's say you've been together with this person for so many years and you've invested so much in this relationship just so it can work. And even though your partner cheats, you don't want to leave the particular relationship because you feel as though you're too old to find someone new, and you feel as though this is the best like life has to offer. No. Sometimes people come into our lives to teach us something, and when they're done, they have to leave. You can't keep them longer than they're destined to be in your life. Otherwise, they'll keep hurting you more and more. They'll keep taking from you because sometimes we feel as though we need this person, but they actually need us more. Like maybe you feel as though like you've spent literally 8 years with this person, you've dedicated your whole life, you've devoted your whole life basically to this person, and they take care of you financially, but emotionally they're not there for you. You have to ask yourself, is this the person who I want to spend the rest of my life with? I know that they are supporting me financially, but emotional health is much more important than financial health. You cannot stay in a place where you're not appreciated. You might stick around in that particular relationship, and even though you stick around, even though that particular person is cheating, you need to leave, because most of the times what we do does not only affect us, it will also affect the people around us. You're in this relationship with the man, and just because of the ideologies and also all the customs, maybe that has to do with marriage, you are afraid to leave. Maybe you're afraid of how people are gonna look at you in your community, and this usually happens whereby the woman stays in that particular relationship because she's afraid of what people will say if she leaves that marriage. Maybe she's gonna be seen as adulterous, or maybe she's gonna be seen as a prostitute. But on the other hand, the man is cheating. And he's abusing her physically. And who's gonna suffer? The children even suffer more because now they're gonna grow up with this trauma, and they're gonna grow up with this trauma, and it will be your fault. So let go and leave when it's time to leave. Forget about what other people think. Know what is right and know what is wrong. What is wrong should never be entertained. Leave. If you want to stay because of your children, that shouldn't be an excuse, because your children are the ones who are suffering in an instance whereby you're being abused in that relationship. Okay? So leave. I know it's going to be a little bit hard to bounce back. I know it's going to be a little bit hard to get back on your feet, but trust me, it will work out. Listen, there's literally no excuse for cheating. If a person wants to cheat, he will cheat, and once a cheater, always a cheater. So you have to give up this relationship because it's not going to serve you anymore. It's done. And you holding on to this relationship is going to keep you from finding even better people. It's going to keep you from finding even greater happiness, because there's more to life than that particular relationship. So that is why you have to move on. And also, it's not just about relationship. Sometimes maybe we tend to hold on to things like something that someone had said about us, and we tend to have this anger and envy towards them, such that we are willing to miss certain things just because they are there and they said this thing to us, and we don't want to be around them. And because of that, we end up missing so many opportunities just because they said this thing about us, and now we don't want to be found with them. That shouldn't be the case. Because, and I'm not saying you have to force relationships, go to that person, make them apologize and then forgive them. No, sometimes you have to forgive for your own sanity, for your own happiness, because not everyone is mature enough to come to you and apologize. That is why you have to be willing to let things go. You don't have to go to them and try to force a relationship. No, you have to love them from a distance. Not really love them from a distance, but you have to let go of that thing that they had said about you, and you have to let go of that thing that maybe they had done to you. So you let go of it, because most of the times we'll find that even in families, you are gonna find that certain things were said about a particular family or particular family member, and that particular thing that was said or that was done, it ends up messing up the whole generation, the whole bloodline. Now they don't want to be together because no, this was said about this was said about that. And that is the importance of learning to hear both sides of the story. And also that is the importance of not meddling in other people's feuds, because you're gonna put yourself in the middle of this. Even though it didn't concern you, you're gonna put yourself in the middle of this. Or maybe you put your children in the middle of that feud just because you said this about her and she said this about you. Now you don't want your children to be visiting this particular aunt or this particular uncle just because they said this. And so it becomes a whole big mess. Like the family cannot be together anymore. And listen, I understand that some things, they are not supposed to be forgiven, but you need to let certain things go, because at the end of the day, some things don't just affect you alone. They're also going to affect a lot of people around you. And also, I know this may sound a bit off, but sometimes learn to see people beyond what they say to you or beyond what they did to you, because sometimes we do tend to say a lot of things off of anger or off of annoyance. But as someone who's mature, you need to learn to see things away from what that person did. Maybe they did this particular thing, but maybe they might have done it out of anger. Maybe they might have done it out of frustration. That's why you need to also have a mindset of sitting down and talking things through. And also not letting go of certain things can lead to stagnation. Like in terms of business, like I said, you've latched on this business. You've literally basically devoted your whole life to this business. It's not serving any purpose for you anymore, but you still want to do it. No, you're gonna be stagnant. Sometimes try and find something else to do. You don't know, it might turn out better, because sometimes when one door closes, another one opens. But most of the times we spend so much of our time looking at the door that has been closed, such that we don't see the one that has been opened for us. And so we need to always look at different angles of certain things. Okay, this thing happened, this person betrayed me, but instead of me just seeing betrayal, what else can I see? I can see that this person's actual colors have been revealed, and now I know what I should stay away from. Maybe this partner cheated, or this partner did this. You also have to look at angles such that, okay, they've showed me and they've taught me that you shouldn't be treated like this. Maybe they used to treat you like this, and then you learn. Now you see that this is not a place to stay. Like, you shouldn't be in that place anymore. So you learn what is bad and what is good when someone betrays you. But this should never be an option to stay in an abusive relationship. So that's it that I had for you today. If you liked my video, please don't forget to subscribe and share, and turn on your post notification on so you can be notified every time I post a video. It's bye from me.